Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tips for Teens. Today we have a guest, Oshwand Scott, with us, and he is ready and prepared to share some powerful tips with teens. We're laughing; it's a hidden thing because of his name. He's
Yeah,
not
my
going to tell
name
you
is terrible.
how
That's
the
that's
power
my
behind
reason.
his name. But welcome aboard today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Well, I want to start with you sharing a little bit about yourself with for those who may not know you.
Okay, so obviously my name is Oshwand Scott, and I did my undergrad at USC Aiken. I majored in political science. Funny story. I thought I had to major in political science to go to law school when I got out of high
Mm,
school. I didn't know I didn't. So by the time I
hmm
realized I was too far in my major to stop, so I ended up graduating with a political science degree. Never used it.
hmm
And so I ended up going to taking a year off, and then I ended up going to Charlotte School of Law. Then I transferred to Charleston School of Law, graduated there, and now I'm doing what I do. I'm a sports agent for the NBA, and I do player management for NFL players. I coach high school basketball at my old high school, and I do videos, photos, pretty much anything I can do to kind of make a little bit of money here and there, and to give back to my community. So
Right. And when you say you thought you had a major in political science, when I started at Coastal Carolina University, I thought the
right,
same thing as well, that I had it was best to major in political science if you were
right,
wanting to go into the law track field. And I chose not to go in that direction, but that was actually a major that I had chose as well.
right. And so
Mhm.
I didn't know because I'm the the first black male, but I'm maybe like the third person that's ever went to law school from Timorsville. So there was nobody to tell
Mm,
me like you can major in anything, go to law school, because nobody had ever
right,
done it before for real from here. So
right.
I kind of had to learn that, do that research on my own when I got there.
hmm
So that's kind of how that happened.
Okay. So what led to your passion in working with young people?
Just seeing the young people in my community from Timorsville. I mean, like, and so the hard part is like I had to go through it so I can tell them. I can go back and tell them like, listen, it's not easy to come from where we come from.
Right.
Like, it's you have to do things a certain way, and it
hmm
might not be fair, but you know. And so I see them like they honestly just don't. They're not exposed to a lot.
hmm
So like they don't have that person to look up and say, "Oh, I want to be that person." It's not a lot
Right.
of, what I'm saying. So I kind of just wanted to give back and make sure I wasn't one of those persons that people that said, "I'm never coming back to where I can't." Like, I'm leaving this
Yeah.
place, I'm never coming back. I don't want to be one of those people. So I just kind
hmm
of wanted to help the youth and kind of inspire them to be something that people say they couldn't be. So
Right. So your work with NBA and NFL, can you share a little bit about that?
so how I got into it or what?
hmm
Okay, so I mean, I guess I'll answer the question that you asked me in the beginning.
hmm
So when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a lawyer. It was just like lawyer, lawyer, lawyer. I used to watch the criminal shows, and I used to want to be a lawyer really bad. So what happened is that was always my dream job.
hmm
But the when I ended up going to I played high school basketball, and then I
hmm
thought I was also going to the NBA, which is what everybody thinks. And
hmm
so then I realized, okay, I'm not going to the NBA. And so I ended up going to college and going to law school. But
You're frozen. I don't know if
can you
you
hear me?
could. Yeah, okay, I can hear you, but you froze. Okay, I hear you and see you now.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's just your picture is frozen.
I don't know why. Is it back on now?
It's not. Mm-mm.
What about now?
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'm sorry. But
hmm
so my brother started playing AAU, and I started meeting people, big time people from like Nike and Adidas or whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, man, I might really like doing this or whatever. I became passionate about it. So once I graduated law school, it was like I could take the sports agent exam to be a sports agent, or I could take the bar. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had a decision to make. And in law school, like I lost passion for being a lawyer. Like I realized, like I love basketball, I love going to games, I love talking to kids, I love
Mm-hmm.
helping kids, I love teaching kids things I didn't know about basketball. I became passionate about that, and so which is one of the tips I tell people, like do the thing you're passionate at, not what other people want you to do.
Right.
Like because like a lot of people like you went to law school and you didn't take like, and I may go back and take it, but like I'm not passionate about it, so I'm not about to devote the energy to something I'm not passionate about and have it
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm doing work. I would rather do something that feels like fun. So going to
Right.
basketball games and talking to players, recruiting players, just building that relationship with the kids and helping them through life, not only like on the court, on the field, but off the court
Mm-hmm.
as well. So that's how I ended up becoming a sports agent.
Okay. Well, that's great. That's
Right.
great. You already kind of got into the tips a little bit.
Right.
So continue on. What additional tips do you have that would be helpful for teens?
It's okay not to know like um so I didn't decide like totally that I wanted to be a sports agent until like after college. Like
Mm-hmm.
so most of the time we have our life plan like, oh, I'm gonna get married by 24 and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna major in whatever, and most of the time we never do that. Nobody, like rarely do you see
Mm-hmm.
people major in something and actually go work in that field. That's like a teacher or a nurse. You know what I'm saying? Like I
That's
have a
true.
political science degree. I'm not doing anything political. So
Right.
it's like it's okay. It's okay to learn yourself until you figure out that thing. Like, oh, I'm passionate about that. Let me go do that. Let me put my energy into that. Let me learn. Let me research. Let me invest everything I have into that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also wrote down about to talk about learning about student loans and credit, like
Mm-hmm.
taking advantage of being in high school, getting a high GPA,
Right.
getting doing good on the test scores. So I'm in 300 and some $1,000 worth of student loan debt,
Mm-hmm.
and so but I didn't know anything about it. So I mean,
Right.
but now that I'm in it, like my experience can be your lesson.
That's
So
right.
right, so I tell people about that and credit. Just uh, I got a belt credit card, and the only reason I got it was because I see all my friends buying stuff. I know I didn't have it, so I said, let me get a credit card. So now I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to take the belt card and buy all the clothes or whatnot because my friends got clothes, and then now my credit's bad and stuff. So right, so it's just the little stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great tips. I think that a lot of people are now shifting to the thought of doing what they feel passionate about doing. Yes, money is important too, but you
Right,
can make a lot of money and not like what you do and
and I
end up having to go back.
I always tell people like I don't you don't chase the money, you chase the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Like the knowledge of what you're doing, because the money can go, but if you
Right.
know how you got that money, how to make more, then you can always go back and get it. So
I know there's probably a lot of young people who usually ask you questions as it relates to NBA and NFL. What are some things that you usually tell young students who are desiring to enter into the NBA or the NFL?
um that it's a good chance you don't make it. It's like it's 1%. It's
Okay.
1%. So if just think about like if you're out here training like and you take a day off, it's somebody in California that
Mm-hmm.
that's training at the same time that didn't take that day off. Like so you gotta be willing to invest yourself in it mentally, like sacrifice. Like you might not be able to go with your friends to the bowling alley or whatever. You might need to train. So just take it serious and understand like you gotta have the good grades because ain't nobody gonna put up with it, and you gotta be focused because it's 10 million of you. Like
Mm-hmm.
however many people in the world, like it's like you're not the only person trying to get that spot. So you
Right.
have to be the best version of yourself every day.
How often do you think that they should train?
Um, do something every day. When I say train, it's not just like physical training. It's like
Mm-hmm.
film study, like training your
Okay.
mentality, looking up. Like it's not just all like physical weightlifting or bad. Like it's training
Okay.
your mentality, because
Mm-hmm.
being pro at anything is a mentality. like you just saying like you being strong mentally and saying like I'm not gonna lose today. Like I'm gonna be the best photographer today. I'm gonna be the best doctor today. I'm gonna be the best whatever. So just like training your mental mostly, physical
Hmm.
too, but mentally is where people make that jump.
Okay. Okay. That is great. That is great. Any additional tips that you would have for teens before we leave for today?
Um, nah, just be yourself. Be the best version of yourself every day, and
Okay.
do what makes you happy.
Okay. And if any young person wanted to reach out to you, if they have any additional questions as it relates to NBA, NFL, and
Right.
so many other things that you do, well, how can they reach you?
Um, you can reach me at on email at odscott@me.com, Instagram at Agent O Scott, and on Facebook at my terrible name, Oshwand Scott.
You should love your name. It's
Yeah,
your name. So,
yeah, they can reach out anytime. I'm never asleep, so they can reach out anytime. I'll be fine. I'm willing to talk to them.
well, thank you so much for sharing this time with Beyond Empowerment on today. Hopefully, some young person that is watching will be able to reach out to you and ask any questions that they may have that will help them with their future endeavors, whether it's sports related, law, or any other thing that they plan to do. And like you said, let your mistakes be their lesson, and that they'll be able to have a lucrative career as they move forward in their life.
Thank you so much for having
Yeah.
me. Thanks, my
Thank
first
you
year.
so much. And everyone else, I'll see you all next time.